Welcome back to Cards and Comics, guys. Today I have another 90s insert set review. And for those keeping score at home, or those new to the channel, I do insert set reviews from the 90s only on sets I own completely. I have the entire set in my possession. I don't like when people just review like one card from a set and then make like an inference about the whole set. You need to look at every card because sometimes you'll find there's cool players, cool designs that you didn't see by just looking at one card. Now, this set I'm going to review today, the 95 Zenith Z Team, is one of my favorite sets of all time. And I'll go into why it is. But, spoiler, it doesn't rank as the highest set I've graded yet. It's number 2. We'll talk about that when we get to the end of the review. I do have a score sheet I use in which I rank the set based on player selection, set rarity, set design, set value. I award bonus points based on my own personal preference and criteria, and then I give it an overall score. So let's go into the 95 Zenith Z Team set. Give you some background. It was an 18 card set, again issued in 95, and it was 1 in 72 packs. So it took 3 full boxes to get one Z Team card. So if you take that ratio, you would obviously get 54 boxes to get one full set of a Z Team. So that's a lot. If you're talking like a 10 or 12 box case, you're talking 4 or 5 cases, maybe 6 cases to get a full set. So that's a lot. That's makes the cards kind of rare. And again, I want to also reiterate, this is 95. So we've just gone through elites, and then we had 2 years of refractors, and we had the 94 flare hot gloves. So we weren't into, let's say, 96 gold cards yet. We weren't into 97 embossed refractors or the craziness of 97 and beyond. So this was early. So I do give a curve a little bit for the earliness and the innovation of the set. Also, this set is highly collectible because of the Dufex used in the set. And this is early Dufex. Dufex started in 93 with a Select Star set. So it's still third year Dufex. So they really perfected it at this point. So this is one of the reasons why the set's rated so high. So let's go through the set. Here it is, guys. Every card in the set will go front to back. Card number 1 starts off strong with Cal Ripken Jr. And so we'll go into the design, why I think it's one of the best sets of all times. Design-wise, for sure. First of all, you got this kind of, the color choices were superb. The use of purple and the blue and the green, it's just like, it's a great color. It's almost like a dark rainbow pattern. But then by utilizing the lines for on a Dufex card, it makes the card look a lot more 3D. So again, with Dufex, you have to kind of design the card to fit that insert style. Just like refractors, right? If you have a refractor set that's like on a card that's really busy, you don't get the effect as if you have a really clean design where the shininess of that card can go through, can shine through. Just like a Dufex card, you have to have sort of these lines and things that make the Dufex stand out. And you can see it's a very 3D effect card. You've got the way they did the name, so it's kind of flying at you. The writing kind of like the Z Team logo. Again, all great choices on design. Then you get to the back. And this is one of the things I love about this set too, is you get this sort of like almost metallic, metallized back, which just offsets the front so well. It's a gold, and they did a similar thing in 95 Select, the gold team cards. They did a similar thing, I believe, there too. So that makes the cards even cooler because they did the back completely different. They could have done like the double-sided refractors. They could have done a double-sided Dufex. They didn't do that. In fact, they did double-sided Dufex cards, I think, with some of the Team Pinnacle cards. They did not do that here. They did a metallicized gold, and that makes the card, I think, even cooler. because you have two very different designs going on. And yeah, so that's, design wise, it's a home run for me. So we'll go to the rest of the set. Card 2 is Ken Griffey Jr., and that is a classic pose from Junior. You can see as I move that card up and down how the name flies at you. It moves along with all that stuff in the background. It's just a great design. It really is top notch. Card 3, we got Frank Thomas. Again, there's the back. I didn't show the back of the Griffey. Here you go. So again, just every card in the set is really, really crazy. So I bought this set complete, Matt Williams, and it was missing. This is weird. So I bought a complete set. It arrived. Mike Piazza. I went through it. I don't know what I was thinking, and it was missing basically 3 cards. It was missing. There's Barry Bonds. Because when I looked at the set, I had the Griffey, I had the Bonds, and I had the Thomas. So I'm like, okay. Cal Ripken was in there. All the Hall of Famers were in there. And then I got to the back, and it was missing Carlos Baerga, Don Mattingly, and Albert Bell. It was like, so I was like, 15 cards. Oh, no, it's 18 cards. Oh, crap, I'm missing cards. So, yeah, that was not fun. Raul Mondesi, again, he was Rookie of the Year, so he was in a lot of sets. There's Greg Maddux. I think he's the only pitcher in the whole set, which is kind of weird. Clemens didn't make the set this time period. But you have Greg Maddux here. Yeah, this is Jeff Bagwell. Yeah, there we go. Jeff Bagwell. Great. Manny Ramirez. And again, this set would have had more Hall of Famers if we did not have the whole steroid scandal. We'll get into the players here in a second. Larry Walker. Tony Gwynn. So needless to say, I did not have a full set. I end up luckily having the Mattingly already in my collection, and I just went out and got the 2 commons from the set. And that's what we got. So I have a full set. Will Clark. It's so cool to see some of these players in this set, like Will Clark, because they were so good, but then they didn't make a lot of sets after a certain point because, again, a lot of sets are 10, 15 cards, and you didn't get really depth. Kenny Lofton into the player selection with insert sets because they were such a smaller selection of sets or cards that you had to have basically the same players almost in every set. Palmeiro. Again, this is the product of assignment. There's the Mattingly, which is a cool card because Mattingly is not in tons of insert sets post 94, 95. So for him to be in a great insert set, he's got a refractor, early refractor, 93 refractor. He's in some of the earlier sets like that, but, he missed a lot of the insert sets. So it's cool to see him in this set here. And then last card in the set is Carlos Baerga. I was just talking about. There you go. So that's the full set. And again, I do love the design. The Griffey, the Thomas, all those cards are, to me, again, one of the cooler designs they've ever really come up with for Defects. And I try to set them up here so you can kind of see them while I talk about them. But yeah, like it's one of those sets that really has a lot of collector interest as well. So we'll talk about that. So for player selection, I'll talk about it here. The set has 8 Hall of Famers out of 18 cards. So around 44% Hall of Famers. But it has the Bonds, it has Manny Ramirez, it has Don Mattingly. So it has well over half the set is players that you would want to collect or has high collector interest. So to me, I don't really hold that against it too much because, again, I think it is part of just the era. So I gave it an 8 on player selection. My general rule to get 8 or above, you have to have at least Griffey, Thomas, and Bonds in the 90s. And then later in the 90s, you have to have Jeter to get 9 and above. And then you have to have well over 50% of the entire set be Hall of Famers, which this set kind of did not. So that's why it got an 8. Not perfect, but it got an 8. Set rarity. So I gave it a 7. It's set 1 in 72 packs. So I did grade this a little bit on a curve because 95, it's early. However, we already had elites. We already had some insert sets that were pretty darn rare by 95. And so this was rare. But then you compare it to other sets in the 90s. And again, this is all about the 90s. I mean, you got to 1 in 300, 1 in 1,000. You got to really hard insert cards later on in the 90s. So I couldn't give it a 10. Even though it's really rare, I gave it a 7. Comparing it to other card sets similarly. But I gave it like a little bit of a bonus point because it was earlier set. Set design, I gave it a 10. I don't think you could make a better looking defect set. There are great looking defects cards out there. I just feel like this is sort of the first one that really utilized the technology to its max potential. And it really is a set that I think most collectors, when they look at it, love it. Now you got the white, you got the Enfuego, you got the white hot set. So you got other sets that people love that are defects. But again, I think this set was the first one that I really said, okay, that defects technology is amazing. I got to have these cards. Set value. So this is, I gave it a 7, so we'll start there. However, for a 1 in 72 insert card, it does sell really well. The Griffeys sell about $100 to $150, depending on, the auction and what the card looks like, raw. So it's cool to pull a raw, just a base Griffey card in the set. Sells for $100 pretty commonly raw. Graded, a 9 brings about $150 to $200. Pretty common 175, 180 sells in there all the time. So again, for a 1 in 72 set, that's a pretty good, strong price when you compare it to other similar sets from either that era or later. Again, they get a premium. So this set definitely has a sales premium. PSA 10s are virtually non-existent. In fact, the 10 Griffey has not sold since 2020. And then it only sold for like 180. So whoever got that 10 5 years ago is sitting on a gold mine, because I guarantee you it would sell close to $1,000 today, because you have to kind of use that 10x. So if a raw, if a graded 9 is going for $200, 5 to 10x is your usual markup. Especially for rare Griffeys that have low pop counts. That card is easily $500 to $1,000. I think that if you say $750, okay, $750. But that's a huge, that card is 6x'd, let's say, almost in 5 years. So it just shows you like how strong the market is, but also how much people love this card. They just, this is definitely in a lot of Griffey collectors' want list. And it's a card that you see people paying good money for. Now, it's just not the Griffey, okay? If you look at other players in that set, you've got, Bonds will sell for $40 to $50 raw. Thomas will sell for $40 or $50 raw. A PSA 9 Cal Ripken sold for $50. So to me, it has strong sales, has a lot of sales. This set also was issued and with a very similar design in football and hockey. So those cards sell really well. So again, there's a whole family of cards in this set. If you expand to other sports, and it just makes it people. I do know people who collect all of these cards from all the sports because of the similar design, and have kind of like a kind of a multi-sport Z-Team set, which is cool because you can get Barry Sanders, you can get Sergei Fedorov. I mean, you can get all these cool players all in this one design. So value-wise, against a 7. Bonus points. So I gave it 3 extra bonus points. And I gave it for 3 reasons. One, it's to me the best Dufex design set of all time. 2, it's early. So we got an early 95. Like, again, refractors in 93 really kicked off this insert thing. You already had elites, but refractors were a big deal, and then you got Dufex, and bam, you got kind of the perfection of Dufex in 95. And it was definitely the start. Zenith was the start of high end. So it was more expensive, more limited. You had, 95 as you started to see more high end sets being developed. And Zenith delivered. It was one of the few, like a lot of the high end sets, honestly, did not deliver back in the 90s. Leaf Limited or something. Like a lot of those designs and cards don't hold up today, but this set definitely did. So it's like the high end set that delivered. It was rare for the time period. It was a great design. The cards hold up. People still collect them. The people want them. Highly desirable. So I gave it 3 bonus points. So overall, you can see my score here. It got a 35, which I prorated to a 100-point scale. 87.5, so it's the second highest score I've ever given. The highest score is to the Hitty Machine set from Ultra. The gear, I think the 96 set, that's the gear shaped set, which I gave it it's that graded a 90. And it got higher because, honestly, because of just, it had a strong player selection, but it also was super rare. Then you had the gold medallion insert version of it. And then, you could upgrade that to the gold medallion, which just made it even harder. But the die cuts are so intricate, and I love how the design of that set looks. So it just got a little bit, it's basically 1 point higher in overall score to get to the 90. So I felt like it was close, but with that Ultra Hitty Machines set is also ultra popular and collectible, and it sells higher than this set does, honestly. So for that reason, I didn't give it the top score, but it's second best so far. So of all the sets I've rated, it's number 2. So overall, again, love the set. I'm glad I have the full set. It's going to go in my binder, which is going to be awesome when I put it in my binder. One of the things I love about this whole series of videos I'm making here is when I'm done making the video, I get to put this card, this set up in my binder, and I get to see it with all the other cards I have in that binder. I get to flip through it again, and I get to see all my other cards. And it's just kind of like, it feels like I'm building a collection, and it feels like it's like they're all complete. I'm not missing any cards. It's like, it's cool to kind of put those cards up into a binder and just kind of sit there. Oh, that's done. That set's done. I got every card, including the Griffey and all the cool cards that are with it. So that's the fun part for me, is I get to put those cards into a binder after this video. So let me know what you guys think. And I got another video, another set to review pretty quickly after this. So we'll be seeing you soon on that side. And let me know how you guys like the video. If I can improve anything you want to see me do from a set review, some recommendations. I'd love that. And I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.